start down. Nina breaking her start down. I'm like watching film and going through stuff, and she's just real like she spends way too much time in the air, and it's like we got to get this foot back down, right? Like, and that doesn't require any type of weight or any type of extra, unique drill set other than she just needs to probably be told, like, get your foot back there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, push the ground away. Like let's make this something that happens like with like a rapid intentionality. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of like my goal over the next 8 weeks is to say you can do all of this stuff at home. Like we don't have to have this full-fledged, super decked out gym with all this fancy stuff. And, you know, sure, I love the tech and I love to be able to like show the people where they're at such that it gives you a benchmark to know about.
Yeah, it's
But
funny.
I,
You're a tech guy now. You're a sports science guy. You're saying all this stuff, which is kind of ironic. But
yeah, yeah, it is. But like sports science is just us actually knowing like what to do when.
right,
It's not because it's not sports science because I'm using technology. Like sports science is okay, grab a stopwatch and time this. You know what I'm saying? Like record this real quick and like compare them. If those are the only things that you have available to you, but somehow, some way, let's be mindful of exactly what we're doing. Like knowing what the position should look like. What does the shape look like? Um, what's the outcome? What's the goal of this? And are we matching it? And if
yeah,
we
yeah, it's funny. I
don't
think
match that,
that stuff. So well,
we
obviously, you do the sports science more, but I think like we had an athlete come in. He wanted to run better off the blocks. And they would,
okay.
like, people want this measurement, they want all this, but it was
Yeah,
like Kyle just watched them run. It was like, hey, you're just not hitting the ground hard. Like you're just picking your knees
yeah.
up. You're not pushing. It's
There's
like
correct.
the science stuff is great, but some of it takes that like coaching eye, and for you,
Absolutely so.
you're a dual
Like if you
guy.
look
You're
at it,
you're
yeah,
CSCS, sports science guy. So I think you need both. I think obviously it'd be easier with two people doing it, but still, like I think you just need that coach's eye because if you don't understand that you're seeing it, hey, push your foot in the ground. None of that stuff
yeah,
matters, right? So I think
even
it's
matters, right?
it's,
And
it's
so
good.
we went even. I wrote this down on the board, right? Like I try to provide a good overall map of like, yo, here's what we're gonna do for the next 8 weeks. Here's the end game. Here's what week one is gonna look like. Here's what week two is gonna look like. Three, four, and like I learned this working alongside Les and these guys, and the way that they communicate about what is about to happen, so that athletes can now wrap their head around like, what are we about to do? Why are we doing this? When should this like change actually occur and show itself? And now they just have a little bit more awareness of like what the process looks like and how they can kind of own this thing and make it theirs. But we talked about ankle, like literally the position of the ankle, the stiffness of the ankle, and how we have to train that in the weight room too, right? Like, yeah, I want you to go sprint. We're going to do a lot of that, right? If we want to get good at the thing, let's do the thing. Let's accelerate well. So I've gone to the deal where like our young kids, I really don't do max velocity with them anymore, Joy. Like it's more because they don't accelerate well.
Right.
I I almost find like I'm wasting my time to get them to max velocity because if they don't get to max velocity in the acceleration phase,
Doesn't
who
matter.
cares if they have good mechanics? It's not
Right.
gonna, they're never gonna reach top end.
Right.
So until they've started to demonstrate to me that they have the effectiveness in pushing and like what the acceleration strategy and pattern looks like, I don't even get out of acceleration. Everything I do is to teach them how to accelerate better. Um, and that has been a change in like my philosophy probably over the last maybe year and a half, 2 years, is I really don't stress max mechanics right now, other than just like in drill work and like warm ups. But we
Yeah.
really won't spend a whole lot of time phasing in like a max velocity block.
Right. Because I think you can make the argument like how many, if you're doing a GPS, you will know like how many times do they actually get to max, Is it three times
Exactly.
per,
Yep.
football game? If it's only three
Yep.
times, why am I spending all this time, doing something I'm only going to do maybe three times? Yeah, we want to be
Exactly.
there. I can, their side of it's like, yeah, those three times I want to make it work, but like if you're only
Yeah.
getting
Yeah. Yeah.
three times,
But the likelihood of that top end exposure actually producing a positive play every single time
right,
is, I don't think there's a very strong correlation. I
right,
think sometimes but it's not all the time. That's just the way football works.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
I understand like you dig deeper, you understand like the offense they run, right? So if they
yes,
know, we're running goes a lot, and you're the guy who's taking the safety with you, then yeah, let's do that, right? So I think
yes,
it's the
absolutely. Like positionally, we know where
right.
we can put our speedy guy to occupy said play and open up a particular area. And I think at the next level in the NFL, and at probably some of these higher level colleges, like
Right.
those are things that people look at. I don't know how much they actually go about implementing it from a strategy standpoint, but I think schools go after specific
Right.
prototypes.
Right.
Like
Yeah. 'Cause
they know what athletes they
I need
want.
a guy to stretch the field, right? Yeah, I need those
Yeah,
things.
like they know who that is. Like I don't think that's I don't think that's outlandish. That is a thing now. I think there's again back to the GPS qualities and just tracking things. We know what center mid play should look like. I know precisely how many accelerations and decelerations that looks like.
Right.
Like we know that type of stuff. And so uh, when you're in these higher levels, that all that stuff is being looked at, is being tracked, it's being discussed and talked about. Um, and I think it is being passed to strength programs, and there is this more overlap of sorts where you do have CPSs working with strength coaches, working with physio teams, working with individual like uh, positional coaches, even having discussion with head coaches. Like it's all
Yeah.
intertwined now, where it used to be very siloed.
Yeah. How do you see that? Like right now, I see it with football, soccer, maybe some basketball. I don't really see it with like baseball and softball. Have you seen some of that stuff?
So I think from a baseball standpoint, I think the pitchers deal with it a lot more than like the athletes do.
Yeah.
So like they have individuals that are tracking like spin rate, arm releases,
Right.
and I think they have a much more direct contact with sports scientists, more so than the other folks do. The batters and players kind of understand their feel and they know what they want their swing to look like. I don't think they take as much information and actually apply it with regards to like what your bat speed or head speed
Right.
looks like. Um, so I think not so much from a velocity standpoint. You
Right.
don't see as much data science in the baseball sports.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the little bit I have is I wear it when I play softball.
okay.
And if I'm playing like outfield, I'm like, holy crap,
Yes.
I'm covering a lot of ground. I think
A lot
like
of distance.
some
Okay.
people, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but part of it's like I think some of these guys might in a game, you get a lot of accelerations, and some of these guys, depending how much ground they're covering, you can cover a
Okay.
lot of
They're
space. And
pretty
I
long.
think like seeing that stuff's important because now, I don't think like baseball necessarily trains speed the way other sports do, where it's like, okay, if like, because they
Yeah.
just think, like speed is like getting out of the box or stealing a bag. But like if I'm playing outfield, if you're not training these things, you're gonna get injured. You're not fast enough to hit
Absolutely.
the ball. I think it's so important. Just to seeing the little bit I've done on my own, like, holy
Yes.
crap, I'm getting a lot of work here, like a lot of
Yes.
celebrations.
And I
So
think that's really cool to have those like firsthand experiences, right? Like when we play the sport, you go at a point of I want to like really play this. I want to succeed at this. Want to win.
yeah,
Um, there's as a trainer, you start to understand. Okay, well, how could I help somebody do this better that doesn't necessarily do this very good?
right,
And I think you feel it a little bit differently. Those accelerations are true, and you start to think about tissue tolerance,
right,
like what are people's thresholds? Like turning and opening your hips. I'm thinking about like a drop step and turning
right,
and just opening and running. Like who the hell does that anywhere else?
right.
You know what I mean? If you haven't done that in a while, like that is definitely a movement that a lot of stuff has to be coordinated pretty damn well for you to escape that unharmed.
Yeah,
Um, and it's violent, like just a drop step where you see a ball and it's also super reactionary.
right,
More often than not, when you're like in the outfield and you see a ball smashed, it's like, oh shit, and you just immediately just go. And there's
right,
really
right.
no thought about it. It's like, I'm just gonna go do this. So yeah, I haven't played baseball in such a long time. Um, and even like softball for that matter, I think there's a lot of hits though,
Yeah.
right? I can only imagine like playing outfield is like an extended infield player, but you don't have four people. You have three
Yeah.
people out there trying to provide this
Yeah,
really big
it's like a
space.
DB receiver type deal. It's kind
Uh-huh.
of a lot, and I think like I always tell people like just, do if you want to coach it better, even though let's just say you're on the performance side, I think you got to do that task in some capacity, right? Like, so like with
Uh,
MMA stuff, I've done some of that stuff in some capacity. I'm not getting my head beat in all the time, but I think like doing whatever it is that you're doing to help the athlete, you got to go do that sport a little bit.
you got to try it. And I've always loved that about your philosophy, coach, is you have always been a like from the fire type of
Right.
perspective. Never afraid to be a beginner, never afraid to go out there and just try this thing and learn it and feel it so that you can provide a better effect.
Yeah, because we can
And
we
your
can read we
athletes
can read all that
appreciate
stuff
that.
all
I
we
know,
want.
I appreciate it, coach.
Right.
Yeah, like that doesn't matter if you can't like actually feel it and apply it. So yeah, I think that's been one of your MOs is the ability to connect with the athlete and really put yourself in their shoes, regardless of what their levels are, and even willing to learn from those guys that have been part of MMA,
Right.
for a long time, and I'm sure they've shared, uh, you know, just very humbly to
Yeah.
how this is how you can do this better and how this helped me. And that's a huge part of the success that I think you experience all the time.
Yeah. I'm sure it happens to you too. Like sometimes they're confused that you didn't play the sport. Like, oh, you didn't play? Like, because
Yeah,
you're speaking the sport so well, and I think that's like such a cool feeling. They're like, oh, you didn't do that? I'm like, no. They're like, oh,
no,
damn, that's
I never
crazy.
did like
Right.
soccer. Like I watched it so much,
Right.
and it was really the thing that gave me like my end in this
Yeah.
industry. You know what I mean? Like that I think you have to do that to have like confidence as a coach.
Right.
Right. It's easy to just stay in football and just
Right.
teach people, how to play DB. Like that's what I did my whole
Right.
life. But to teach somebody how to play a sport that I've never played and then like see them actualize success, like that just changes the whole deal. And then when we kind of take it the next notch and it's like, oh well, now you're a quote unquote speed coach. It's like that just really helps your ability to
Right.
get things done and do so in a manner that it's reproducible. You trust it, you believe in it. Um, yeah, it's definitely helpful.
Yeah. So how do you do it all, man? You do the sports science, you're a certified strength coach, you coach flag, you play flag, you do your own performance training, you work with a ton of youth
Yeah,
outside of that, work with pro athletes. That's like a lot of things. Like how do you do like all that?
it is. It is. Um, Man, honestly, I think I've grown so accustomed to the damn like chaos and hustle that I almost feel like I'm not doing well if I stop doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Part of what I want to like, and I'm kind of at this part in my career where I really like I got these certifications, and I'm really starting to like shop them around. Like I apply to so many jobs uh, with the role of like sports scientist. I know you're like ridiculously helpful in these things, even the flag football stuff. Like I'm at this point where I want my life to look like flag football, coaching, and travel. Like that is what I'm trying to build, and I've been just saying this over and over and over again. Um, and I just got off the call a little bit ago with a buddy of mine, and he's like, I said it's cliche, but I'm at that point where I've been coaching for 10 plus years. And we talk about like you have to have like X amount of hours in this task before you like get that opportunity. Right. And I've said it a few years in a row. Like I feel like I'm on the precipice of really having some like true just alignment with what I want in my life, with what I want my like everything to kind of culminate to. Um, and so all of these tasks, when I took this job at Sports Academy, I had no idea what I was getting myself into at all. Um, as you know, like we had coaches at the facility. Um, it was like at a point where like things were going well, and I was just like, I needed a little bit of a change on my own. I felt like I was just getting stale. I wasn't enjoying the space as much as I wanted to, and this was just a really unique opportunity that kind of gave me the ability to like go bring our services into like a new demographic. I didn't really have a boss there that was going to tell me exactly how I needed to do stuff. Like I just felt like I could go into this space working with basketball kids completely out of my realm. And it sparked this whole like new approach to work, right? Like the commute was different. Um, that solitude on the road as I'm driving out to the facility and driving back home, like gave me like really, really powerful, like reflective hours of like, man, like, do you like this or do you want to change this? Uh, and so on top of that, Sports Academy brought me into different relationships with coaches, with people that like I admired like no other, and quite honestly, I feel like are the best in the world. Um, and I was like, how in the hell did this even happen? You know, like I was accustomed to training kids, and here I am like working with top picks, well, like high level bodies that had some really storied collegiate careers. Um, and I was like handpicked and asked to do this. Like that was a huge, just I couldn't even believe it. I honestly couldn't
Right.
believe it. And seeing how hard these people worked and how tireless their efforts were. They're driving from San Diego. They've got new families. They've
Right.
got businesses. They've got like all of these endeavors, just like I feel like I have. And I'm like, they're doing it.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing this too. These are things that I love. You know, like
Right.
flag football, like it literally saved my life. You know what I mean? Like I was doing dumb stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. And flag football gave me purpose. It gave me a reason to train the way I was supposed to.
Yeah.
It gave me like something to look forward to week after week. Restored like really, really solid and like meaningful relationships in my life that allowed me to kind of tutor and share my experiences, like in a space that's I'm not being judged. People know that I love this game. They know I approach this with like true professionalism, and to see it grow the way it's growing and have the opportunity to impact the next wave, it just like I just don't get tired doing it. Like I could be dog ass exhausted, and I get an opportunity to work in flag and Troy. I'm like, yes, like I would like however we got to figure out a way to do it. Let's do it. So I think some of it comes to that is just knowing that um, the efforts don't go unnoticed. I feel like people around me are like super supportive. They like see the things too, and they work hard and kind of match the energy. The space back at the facility, like I mean, what you guys have done and poured into that space and continue to make it just like a beacon is like such a blessing. Like I don't have to worry about that space very much. That you guys allow me to step away and try these other things, um, and not have to feel like I'm like letting the space down back home.
Right.
And in turn, creating these other opportunities are like another way that we can bring more eyes to the space and more coaches to our areas, so that you guys get to share what you got going on. So part of it is just the selfless, you know, need to make sure like I'm maxing out my efforts and my energies. And then secondly, like I really believe that I am like really, really close to landing like an opportunity of a lifetime that like really like legitimately changes my life forever. And that's why I went after these certifications and why we kind of built these relationships in the coaching space. Uh, and yeah, well, I'm sitting here, I'm waiting for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I think
just
it's
kind of
cool.
approach it every day.
I think it is selfless, not selfish. I think it is selfless because now you have this unique skill set. You worked hard for it. It's almost selfish if you don't do these things, if you don't go chase it, you know? It's
Agree.
so I
If you
think it's
don't share, you don't teach them how to do these things.
right.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's like it's so important for you, the people before you, the people after you that you go chase these things, you know. And I think it's cooler, you know, because people
Yes.
see you're an older guy now doing it, not just some young kid, you know. I think like you should do there's no like it's not an age limit to do these things. Like if you want to like go get something, like go get it because you know you and
Go
I
do it. Straight up.
did the
Go do it.
alternative for a little bit. You know, what's the alternative? Yeah, you're driving all these miles, running this place, but what's the alternative, you know? Like, do you want to get
Yes.
like a real
Absolutely.
job where you're really grinding? You know, I don't.
No, I don't want that. You know, I don't want that. I truly enjoy like I really enjoy this chaos. Like
Yeah,
it's the same day, but every day is like so different just
right.
with the energies that you interact with, the different groups, um, you know, different seasons. Like you get new
Yeah,
things and new obstacles. We just started our new league over here in Seal Beach. Um, and it's just league, right? Like, so these kids are not like super talented. This is just their first exposure to basketball or some type of like organized sporting deal. And it's about fun, right? Like, and how do we standardize this, and how do we make this something that is used as a launching point into a club experience? And we changed it from last year to this year, right? Like that is fun. That's here's
Yeah.
what I'm going to do from the weight room standpoint. Here's how we're going to talk about it. Here's how like we can benefit them in these 30 minutes or 20 minutes. And you know, people don't really have an idea of what sports performance is, right?
Right.
And when you see it from a 7-year old standpoint, a 9-year old standpoint, 11, 12, and then you couple that with kids that are growing, like these basketball kids are
Yeah.
insane
Yeah.
long, dude. Like the levers are just like, whoa, okay, like you just have to do something different. Like there's no way that you're gonna move the same as anybody else because you are very, very, very unique. Um, and figuring out ways to solve those problems. And we just always have like I feel like our days are so fun.
Yeah. There's always
We
something different, even with the
deal
same
with
person,
like
right? It doesn't have to,
frontline,
right.
yeah, like frontline emotional stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and like with really really interesting populations, right? Like junior college kids, super interesting. You know, like you're still playing. Why are you still playing? Like, do you have plans to go to another school and play, or are you just like, ah, screw it, I just feel like playing because, right? And like then they meet a coach like you. They've never had a coach like you. They've never, ever, ever had a coach like you. I guarantee you, out of every single one of those athletes that you've worked with this season, nobody has ever had somebody that cares like you care. And what they're willing to do for you is like, all right, this is dope. Like it's a very, very, very fulfilling opportunity. You've taken over a couple of programs now that had like nothing. You had flag football. Now
Right.
you just went to volleyball,
Yeah.
right? Like you're starting things from nothing. And from what I see posted, like it's still the same number of girls. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We
Yeah.
went out there, it was 28 girls, and it's like there's still 21, 28 women out there like working.
Yeah.
So yeah, like our jobs are super fun, dude. Like
Yeah.
I would never ever want to be locked in a cubicle,
I know.
stuck doing the same thing. Like no way,
Yeah, it's
no
too late.
freaking
It's
way.
too late now at this point, right? So
Yeah, no, no,
how do you do it,
we're
man? You have
vested.
like you have in 1 hour you have a 7U soccer player. Next
Yep,
hour you have a 12U flag. The next hour you have a 25-year-old pro athlete. How are you able to connect with all these different types of people?
absolutely. So what a lot of what it comes down to is like how can I make sure I help today? Um, we'll all do the same warm up. Every single athlete does the same warm up. And while we're doing warm ups, I'm watching and I'm looking at stuff. Okay? Whether I have kids go skips, I have them move sideways, I have them move backwards, I have them twist their hips, dissociate from top to bottom. And I just pay attention to all of these things. And I have a standard with what I want stuff to look like. And I try to see like how they problem solve, right? And real quickly, maybe it's during an A series with our younger kids, right? Like mostly as a young kid, like I just want patterns and I want shapes. So I'll usually have a theme of the day. Most of my sessions are going either like acceleration, max velo, late acceleration. That's what's going to kind of drive the day. Um, and so depending on what the day's focus is, I'll have a set of drills that we're going to be working that I can kind of pull from just all the time. So let's say we got the 7-year old, they're having a hard time with just like force application. Most oftentimes they just don't step hard enough to the ground. So we're going to spend a little bit more time on like that A series and talk about like what it's supposed to feel like, how that foot's supposed to push into the ground, like what it's like to push the hips forward. Now then we go to our 14U athlete and maybe they're same drills concept, same warm ups. Maybe they don't have as much like hip hip flexion. They don't lift the foot up very well. Maybe it's a mobility thing. Maybe they played a bunch of games. They're sore. Whatever it is, I'll inquire about it and we'll ask. Um, but we'll be able to change the intentionality and say like let's work just frequency and patterning, bouncing off the floor a little bit more. Maybe do more like those type deal, just so they kind of get an idea of how to like bounce and spring off the floor. And then with like my pro athletes, like they're usually driven by competition. Um, we'll try to like have the fastest 10 or the fastest 5 and whoever gets like the highest mile per hour. So that way, like the group is all kind of encouraged to like take these reps hard and serious. You know what I mean? And competition breeds success,
Yeah.
right? Like we always want to be working towards something. And like with those groups, Um, Most oftentimes they like that. So we announce the times out loud and everybody knows what you ran. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm the leader. I'm the leader. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
hey, go chase, whatever it may be. And that way we keep the vibes high. Everybody's like holding each other accountable to a thing. Um, but the main thing that we're trying to get out of every single session is just ultimate intentionality. And depending on where the kids kind of fall on this continuum of just the number of hours they've done something or they've done a task, um, we coach it accordingly, right? Like I don't mind mistakes from a kid who has a training age of less than 5 months, six
Right.
months. They're going to make mistakes. They're supposed to make mistakes. Matter of fact, and we want to coach them to try those mistakes. I don't want to avoid those mistakes. I know early in my career I used to cue the shit out of everything,
Right.
right? And like I've gone away from that. Like I'm going to give you a couple cues, show you the drill, demonstrate, and then I'm going to watch you. And now we've got so many cues tied up in our head, like, but we
Right.
can't use the same cue for every athlete.
Right.
You know what I mean? So first, I need to just sit and watch you for a second and just
Yeah.
see. And so I really use that warm up portion as an opportunity to kind of just like give a quick on the go diagnostics of, all right, here's what my theme is. This is what we're going to work today. How can I get this kid to do this a little bit better with their current movement strategies without having to reinvent the wheel?
Yeah. So, I mean, what is that like? I mean, how do you like sell that to a parent, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, the consumer, and based on what they see, they don't understand what sports performance is at times, like
Yeah.
what do you tell them sports performance is, right?
So I really, when I talk with parents, my number one like sell to them is that I'm going to work to make sure that we do the appropriate thing for the athlete on that day. And some days I'm going to have a strategy where we jump high, we lift heavy, we run fast. And some days we're going to have days where we slow things down because I want them to tell me about what's going on with their body. My goal is always to improve their performance, but there is like a thing called burnout. They do like a
Right.
lot of other things outside of this place. Um, and so the number one analogy that I tend to give parents as well is a cup with the boulders. I think we've talked about this before, but essentially their skills, their weightlifting, and their high school stuff is all going to like fill in their cup. And that's going to be big boulders. They're very, very like, they're demanding every single day. But it doesn't fill the entire cup. There's small little crevices that could probably be filled with a little bit more like granular activities. And so I try to explain to them that I'm the granular stuff. I can be, sand. I could be like smaller little pebbles. I could be other little things that can fit into these areas that aren't necessarily the same thing as their big boulders.
Right.
Um, and so I think that gives them a little bit better idea that like my job is to morph to whatever we need at that particular like moment. A lot of times I'm dealing with like return to play. Like this has been a lot
That's good.
more
Yeah.
prevalent than
They
lately.
know, they know they need.
Yeah, so they know that we got to kind of take some time to address like some of these weaknesses. That is where like the onboarding process for me has been super helpful. Um, doing jump tests and force analyses, and like really putting numbers to like what people are, and then having like a normative like value with regards to like the population that I work with. It's not just to like NBA prototypes. It's like this is amongst kids that I work with that are like 11 years old, 13 years old, training ages of like 5 to 7 months. Like I know where you fall on that continuum and I can share that with the parent. Right. And now there's a little bit more of an understanding of like my kid's not that far off. I think
Right.
most parents come in thinking that their kids are like way, way behind.
Right.
And they're just not. They're just not behind. They just don't know what the heck they're doing and they don't know how to do it properly. And so it's like when you can explain, hey, after the first 6 weeks, you're going to probably see an increase of like 20%. That's common, whether it's speed, whether it's jump ability, whether it's RSI. Like once they learn how to do the task, it's a 10% increase. Now we're going to get them a little bit more like structured and organized. There's the other 10%. That's done within 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And parents don't really understand that, right? So being able to explain that to them, share that with them, I think it becomes less about what we do and more about making sure what we're doing is effective to bring about the result that they're looking for. They're going to tell us they want to get faster. They're going
Right.
to tell us they want to jump higher. Well, we're going to tell them, well, they need to do this first. And
Right.
here's like how we're going to do it. And I think when you can give that to them, I haven't had as much objection to like what my job actually is.
Yeah, 'cause I think initially you get people like I think a couple of years ago I had a lot of years ago now. It was like I had a kid, I just did some basic stuff with them, and she was like, "That was it? Like, how's my kid gonna get
Yes,
better?" And I didn't communicate like what we're doing first. Like,
for sure.
they think like, oh, it's sports performance. I paid this guy, he's just gonna run my kid to the ground. I'm like, No, like
Yes,
zero, we're doing
yes,
that zero. Like sometimes
correct.
how do you deal
They
with that
don't.
or how do you deal with that?
I haven't had too many parents ask me to do like more things.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's like if that were the case though, I think I would have to explain to them like how this, speed like more often than not you want me to get your kid faster. Now, if you're trying to get your kid in better shape and like endurance wise, okay, we can put together a little, breakdown or whatever, but I think most people want speed. So they don't understand we have to have that full recovery and rest to be able to get a maximally effective rep. Um, so yeah, I'm always one to just kind of have conversations with people,
right,
and if they want this, that has been like I said, the onboarding process is super helpful for me to just kind of lay out the plan of like here's how this is going to look, here's what the expected like outcomes are at the end of this, and I give them this PDF after they do their assessments with me. And if they have any questions, then like we go back and forth like right there. If they don't have any objections, it's basically like a syllabus of sorts
yeah,
that that they're gonna adhere to for the next few weeks. And I do that because I want to empower them. Like I don't want them to think like they can't have the recipe, right?
right,
Like
right.
here it is. Like do this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
do this. It's
it's
not
out there now
complicated.
too. You
Like
might as
you
well be
can
the
find it.
person
Like
that you might as well
absolutely.
be the
You
person
can
that gives it to them easier.
absolutely and use me as a resource. Like ask the questions. Like
Yeah,
understand why this stuff is. And so it's not so much like I don't want the parents to not ask me those things. You know what I
right,
mean? Like I'd rather them really ask that question and be like, "Oh, I think they should do more," and then I would give them the reason why I think they shouldn't. And
right,
if you still feel like you think your kids should do more, like that is your prerogative to go do. But here is what I'm going to do.
right.
Here's what I think is like effective dosing.
Yeah.
And I will show you based off of like the things that we do, how things are improving, right? Like um, every time that we kind of pull gates out or we throw a time on, more often than not, like it's gonna look better, it's gonna be higher, may not be like crazy, but as long as it's not going back the other direction,
All right.
then we're doing what we need to do.
Do you ever use yourself as proof, or do you ever get like when you're playing flag? Do you ever get people hitting you up like, "Damn, dude, you're 40, you run this fast"? Like,
Yeah,
give me some tips. Like,
they
do you ever get any of that
I,
stuff?
I have been getting that a little bit more, and that was with the like exposure internationally. I think everybody was like really surprised that I was that old. Um, and so I do try to make sure that I'm a product of the product and that we implement those things. My training looks way different than what I would have my athletes do, though.
Right.
I just cannot handle that anymore. Like it hurts.
Yeah.
And so I got to train a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
My high day is always Sunday. Like I'm usually playing like a handful of games on Sunday, and so my whole training week is predicated on that.
Got it.
Mondays are my low days. So that's going to be a lot more like active recovery. I will do every single warm up with my athletes that day,
Oh, that's
just
great.
like
That's
our,
good.
our tissue work, our skips, our patterning, and all that type of stuff. So, like, it's very active in that regard. Um, but I don't lift that day. I don't do anything. It's super, super low. It's just coaching. Tuesdays is where I kind of ramp it back up again. So that's going to be a heavier or like what I can kind of tolerate leg day. Usually I try to drive it by like velocities. So I'll stay like pretty high, like point 0.7s to like point 0.9 type deal. And I'll bang out reps anywhere between like 8 to 10.
Mhm.
And we'll go like 3 sets and that'll be either back squat, front squat, or deadlift. Like those are my three. Um, and I'll kind of cycle between those. I'll change my stances. I do a bunch of like single leg balance work. I think that's super important. my ankles, my legs, my knees, all things that I need to have like just greased up. When I don't have those things doing what they need to do, they hurt way more than they don't.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then just like I'm coming off this collarbone injury. That was just like something really, really freaking crazy. Um, it I learned about rehab like a little bit more again, right? Like first time I broke my foot, I was in college. Um, and I don't really remember the rehab process. I just remember like,
I just want to get back on the
I had to
field.
get back. I had
Right,
to get on the field, right? Like I was willing to do anything. I was pissed at my like training people because they were like moving me too slow.
right,
So then I started doing full workouts on my own and like started expediting the process. So this time around, it was different because it was my right arm. I broke my right collarbone, um, and I couldn't do my job regularly. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like I couldn't like demonstrate the way I normally demonstrate. I couldn't do a lot of things. And it really forced me to just be like a better communicator. And it was helpful. I was like, oh, I don't have to bounce around here and like, have a strain of 12 every coaching session. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, that's a
I
lot.
can
That's a lot
chill,
of
just
volume.
talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I can just tell people how to get it done. Um, but no, like just learning how to like work it through, introduce the range of motion, mentally like how I felt. Some days I'd be like in great mood, and then other days I'd be like, man, like I'm so bummed. Like this
Right.
sucks, dude. Like I
Yeah.
really have a broken collarbone right now, and I can't go do what I want to do. Um, I was stressing about, being able to play flag with the national team and like, was I going to lose this opportunity because I'm like, I am old, you know what I'm saying? And they
Right.
can easily go get a young kid and like,
Right.
play. So like, if I can't get out on the field and compete, like, do I lose this opportunity? Like, I'm bummed because this was something that like I didn't expect to have, but
Mhm.
like now it's here and I want to keep. You know what I mean? So, and then it's like out of my control. So I was like mentally, I was in a funny space. That has come with me in my coaching, right? And I think just being able to relate to a bunch of people in that regard and finding ways to use movement and training to just make us feel good, man. Like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's not an aesthetic thing for me. Like this is our life. Like I literally do this, and I just was blessed and fortunate to have it be something that I can actually earn from,
Yeah.
and share about. But I do this. This is literally like what my purpose is. This is what I love to do. I enjoy figuring all this stuff out.
Yeah.
And when my body has a problem, like I listen to it and I'm going to try to figure out like how the hell can I make this better? And yeah, it's a really, really, um, talent. It's a disciplined task that I've been really committed to, for a long time. And when you can share about it, like I don't really have to convince people
Right.
much. It's like,
Do
look,
you
this
do
is
you
what
set aside time to like study, read the stuff, or you just do you go to seminars? Like,
um
how do you stay up to date with all this stuff?
absolutely. So most recently I was being kind of guided by CPSS and like reading research, staying on top of papers, being a part of articles. But I try to set up not necessarily like super focused time, but I'm always trying to read up on different practitioners. Like I'll kind of pick a person for a month or so and just kind of like watch what they're doing. I've tried to clean up social media with regards to just like who you're watching and what you're kind of being
Yeah.
influenced by.
Yeah.
um and even just like the coaching circle, like being around the Les's, the Danny's, the Chris's, the Megs, like they have just really like brought a whole nother level of exposure with regards to just like really world class practitioners. So most of these forms, I try to stay up on the continuing education side of things, the stuff that they share in our group chats, and just the things that we kind of like talk about and discuss. Like, um, yeah, I just kind of staying in the industry, I think, and feet on the ground, watching, asking questions, staying curious,
Yes.
will lead you to the things that you need to kind of continue to keep finding.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just curious. Like, I don't have like a way to learn. Like, oh, this is interesting. I'm gonna keep reading it. Like
Yeah,
I don't like know.
absolutely.
Because like, people are like, what should like I get asked a lot. Like, what should I read? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I read this because it interested me. Maybe
Yes.
read this. I don't know what to tell you. So
Yeah, I think like as far as like reading material comes, like I just yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I just gravitate towards things that I find interesting. How like certain types of athletes kind of do things, why they do them. I usually try to step outside of like my
yes,
typical
yeah,
thought process, right? Because I don't want to just keep reading the same damn thing over and over. So like finding things that are like kind of polarizing with regards to like what I think or how I would apply something.
yeah,
Um, and just to be able to see the other side of it, right? Like it's okay to not always agree with certain stuff,
yeah.
but I
I think
think
it's so
people
important to see
sharing
the other
stuff
side of
is
it. You know
nice.
what? Like I think that's where you nailed it. Like I think people get so caught up in the way they train, where like aerobic is bad, you only speed, right? I think you need to understand like both sides of whatever you're trying to learn. That you cut out there. Oh, you back? Is it me or you? Are you back? Let's give it a second. There it goes.
There we go. Yep, I lost you.
That's all right. I forgot what I was talking about.
You were saying nailed it. You nailed it on the head. That was the last thing I heard.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. What's to see like seeing the other side. I think people get so caught up in only the way they view it, right? Because if you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you said a word, you said, success or whatever, that word's gonna be different based on how you're saying it, how I perceive it. So I think whatever it is that we're looking at, it's so important to see how the other person may perceive that. I think you do a good job because you're not large to like an NFL guy, but you're like a big person. So
Yes.
when people see they might be like, oh my God, that guy's scary, and like right off the bat, when I see you interact with people, you're like very open. Like, oh, cool, he's cool. 'Cause I think people see
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where he's scary.
Absolutely.
Like,
And that's definitely I get that a lot, and I think it comes more because I do work with like kids. Um, and it's important that they just feel accepted and like they can get rid of that notion that it's like I need to be anxious around this person, like I want them to know like it's okay to mess up here, like
yeah.
have fun. Like that's my number one rule. Let's just have a great time, smile, do your thing. If you don't understand something, like I'll I'll show you a lot. Like I'm having fun too. Like let's just make sure we have a good time here.
Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, so when you work in this field, people might see you as different or like a celebrity almost. Like, what are some things that you do that may make you more human? For me, it's
Got
like
it.
I eat bad food too. Like that's my.
Yes.
What are some things that like Adam does that makes him more human or more?
Oh, definitely. So I am definitely not a diet junkie at all. I love sweets. Like I'm a big time like sour candy dude. I will tear all of it up. I love cookies. Shout out to our butches down there. They got the best
Oh
Heath
yeah, yeah.
cookie ever, man. Like I literally go there and I get four cookies every time I go. And I eat all of them. So I'm a big cookie guy. Um, what else makes me superhuman, man? I love wrestling. I watch wrestling. I watch the shit out of wrestling.
Yeah, I
And
never
it's
got
that
like
one of my
WWE stuff like you're talking about.
yes, like WWE. We just had WrestleMania and it was so fun to like watch WrestleMania. Like I hadn't done that since I can't even remember when last time I watched WrestleMania, but I've been watching wrestling super heavy. So like I've been following the stories and like knew all the things that were going on. And
Yeah,
I was so excited for WrestleMania. That was super awesome to watch. And some cool stuff happened at WrestleMania. That makes me superhuman.
yeah.
Um, and man, what else? I love coffee.
Oh
Coffee is
yeah.
like my favorite thing in the whole world. That definitely makes me more human because if I don't have coffee, then I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be a damn zombie.
How many, what's your dosage? Like, how much do you have?
So I have a quad shot, espresso tonic. Like that's my drink every morning. So I think it's probably like 450 ish a day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all you have?
that's it. Just that one drink in the morning, usually before like 9 a.m. And
Hmm.
then that's my only caffeine for the day.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I think some people are like crushing things. Like, you know, you work with people, they was like, oh, I can't sleep. My brain's on. Like, when
Yeah.
caffeine, they're like, oh, like my last one, I had one at 4. I'm like, at 4?
So I can't do that. So I had terrible sleep, Joy.
Yeah,
Like my sleep used to be so bad, dude.
yeah,
And that was something that I really like said I wanted to go heavy on this year, like
yeah,
sleep consistency, getting to bed at like the proper hours.
yeah,
Um, and that I had to stop drinking coffee. So I was having like an afternoon coffee and it would jack me up. Like I
right.
cannot have coffee after like I try to say like 11 a.m. I try
Yeah,
not to have
I do
coffee.
10. I do 10 at 9 at when I'm better.
Yeah, because I do like I'm gonna do a quad. Like every time I have a coffee, I'm gonna get a quad. So like 11 for me, I'm cool. Um, yeah, but that was really messing my sleep up big time, big time. So that's been one thing that I definitely told myself is the I think it's the most important driver
Right.
of good performance is
Do you have like a
quality
sleep
sleep.
routine? Do you have like a,
So I have been most recently I've been doing I take the magnesium. So I'll
Mhm.
have that like an hour before bed. Um, and I try to do like my Normatec boots like around the same time that I eat that to just kind of get the legs chilling out a little bit. Um, and then you put me on game to the Apollo. I've had this now for like 5 days.
Yeah,
Um, and I've been using that one as well to just kind of like wind down with the pulses. Um, but yeah, mostly just kind of put my phone away. Like don't do the phone. Um, and like 10:30 sharp, like I just turn everything off, like no matter what.
nice, nice.
10:30, I'm like horizontal. Boom, I turn the TV off. I've been doing like sometimes I'll do sleep noises,
Oh
just
yeah,
like a little sleep
yeah.
playlist.
White noise is nice.
Sometimes that works. Other times it's like they're distractions.
Right. Like,
Um,
why are there monkeys in here howling? That's what the heck's going on.
yeah, like just weird like streams and just like babbling brooks and stuff, like little noises.
Right.
Like I'll just fixate on them and it doesn't work good for me and it keeps
Yeah.
my brain on way more than it's turning it off. So
Yeah.
um, but magnesium has been helpful. That's been that I've really enjoyed that. I was doing ashwagandha for a little bit.
Mhm.
It makes me groggy the next day. Like I just
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
too tired after I took it for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I would just feel kind of like I had no like motivation to just
Yeah.
do anything. I was just like too chill. Um, and then I smoke. Like I have like my little whatchamacallit pen, and that's how I kind of like bring it down
Yeah.
and help with my sleep, man.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance, right? Because we have to like we're so stimulated all day by light,
Yes. Yes.
music, like good
Yep.
energy. You know, that keeps you
Yep.
up. Like now you're high.
All
Yeah.
yeah, I come home and I'm still kind of like excited about the day.
All right.
Like I do find myself driving home in complete and utter silence, like
Same.
more
Yeah.
often
Yeah.
than not.
Yeah.
Like because same concept, right? Like I gotta have the playlist going. I gotta like keep everything like up.
Right.
And like that has like I said, that drive has been really, really like decompressing. I've
Yeah.
used that as a time to just like let it all kind of like come down so that when I get home, like I can be a little bit more present. Like these
Yeah.
were things that were tough for me back in the day, you know? And so like as I've matured and tried to like go through my like healing process, like bringing myself home in the state that I need to be in to be like a better person, better partner,
Yeah.
like I have to do those things. I got to consciously work on those things to make sure that that's like what my partner gets, you know what I'm saying? And so um yeah, like the better rested we are, the better training we are, like that makes me a better person. These are things that fill my cup. These are things that like make me happy. Um, and so I think having the wherewithal to make sure you do those things at a high level, particularly our low hanging fruits,
Right.
is important. And it's something that like if it's important to you, then you're like the world sees that that's important. And I want to be the best version of myself for every one of my athletes, for every one of my like friends,
Yeah.
and people that believe in me, right? Like I want to make sure that I show up the best version of me.
Yeah. It's like it's always people, oh, you commute. I'm like, actually, it's a good thing because when you have like, a 30-minute, 40-minute drive, like it's
Yeah,
nice to just use that time to wind down,
absolutely.
like,
To just chill.
yeah,
Yep, absolutely chill because I literally like every minute it's like, okay, we're I'm thinking about the next thing. I got to go get to this place. I got to travel to this place, you know, and I'm at like a couple different locations. So I'm on the freeway, I'm on, you know, traffic filled roads trying to get from here to there
yeah,
and making sure that we give ourselves enough time to get to these places and then when you show up it's like it's showtime, you
yeah.
know.
That's fine. Would you ever, one more question, would you ever do
Yeah.
the full self-driving car if you could? Have you thought about
Yeah,
it?
I would.
Yeah.
I would. I think I would because I can get a lot of stuff done on the road, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many times that I just wish I could sit and just like update a program real quick. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And, like while I'm sitting here pressing the brake and having to pay attention, like I could just be like whipping out hella emails or
Yeah.
follow ups. Yeah, definitely. As this commute becomes a little bit more of a reality, still moving forward, it's on the list of like, man, do we end up doing something like that or
All right.
keep thugging it out?
Yeah. Either way, I think driving is soothing, but it'd be also nice some days to like just not drive and just get home
To
somehow.
just chill.
Yeah.
Absolutely. To just chill and you get there. Absolutely.
Okay, so you're like you kind of talk about it. You're pretty open book. Like, how should we get a hold of you?
For
Email?
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'd say Instagram is probably the easiest and most direct way. Coach Adam C. Wright. That's Adam C. Wright.
Mhm.
And yeah, reach out to me there. I promise to kind of get back to anybody that may have questions about things. I'm always looking to network and connect with folks that are in the space. I'm out here in Seal Beach. I'm in Irvine, Tustin area, and Riverside. So if we have coaches in any of those areas that want to link up and touch base, um, I am totally down to network and learn from all the people participating in this series, Coach.
I like that. You said learning from people. We think people, we get old and they think we have all the answers. I don't. I'm always
No,
asking. I'll ask
not at
Kyle, I'll
all.
ask Chris for stuff. I have no idea, you know?
Yes, yes. These kids are masterful at finding information,
All right.
and I know that they're really good at doing that. The other part is like having a an experience to bounce that information off of, right? So we can sit here and exchange. You could talk about something that I have no idea about, but I
Right.
can tell you about like what I've done in relation to said concepts or whatever it may be. So it's always a collective and collaborative learning environment.
Right.
I think that's a huge part of this, and we're here to help. I think that's the most important thing. Like, um, you talked a little bit about internships and like what that means. I had this discussion with one of my kids, and an internship is about providing value to a space. How can they provide value to a space? We talk about this all the time, and it doesn't have to only be like with regards to how you coach or what you know or what you program. Relationships. How do you bring value to these relationships? And that's what's going to help grow our careers. And so that's what I'm looking for. Coaches that want to bring value to spaces. Those are the folks that I want to rock with. Those are the people that I want to put in my life. And I've been blessed and so freaking fortunate to have a lot more of those types of people, like depositors and people that share, and not just a bunch of consumers,
All right.
but people that contribute to this field and have shared so much of their stuff. Not with the notion that they get something back from it. That has nothing to do with this. This is just an opportunity to share. And as we say, like our selfless obligation to impart with this knowledge and give it to somebody because it's helpful. And if we can help a kid not make the mistakes that we made as
Right.
early coaches, then yo, ask away. I promise to get back to everybody, because that is what this is all about. This is a very community driven opportunity, and we're very, very community driven coaches, as
Yeah.
we always say, impact over income.
Right. Right. That stuff will come. It's come to you. If you've done the right thing, you've hustled, those things will always come. And I think, man, there's whatever billion people or whatever that number is, you can't train them all. I can't train them all, you know.
Correct.
It's just
Correct.
crazy. So
Correct.
it
We
just,
have to work together. Yeah,
yeah.
we have to work together, and let's do so in a manner that's healthy and conducive to long-term growth, man.
Yeah. All right, brother. Thanks for your time, man.
Coach, I appreciate the opportunity, man. Until next time,
Yeah, we'll talk soon. See ya.
peace.